peace. Now's the vibrate. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now, y'all know what it is. Let me know how the visual and audio is, because the wind is blowing out here, so the audio might be the audio might come off a little funny. So let me know how the audio is as y'all start to come in. I know I popped this one up on y'all, so I'm alive for people to get notified in the space. Since this video is being watched, although people aren't live, here at the moment. Oh, some people coming in, getting it, I always don't know what to say. Get ink, getting it. What's up? Hollow smoke. Yeah, let me know how the visual and audio is. Let me know if y'all can hear me pretty well. All right. Appreciate the feedback. I'm grateful to know that I'm here with living, breathing beings. That is no knock to our computer friends. I don't like using artificial intelligence, because the intelligence ain't really necessarily artificial in that sense of it, But yeah, no knock to the robots and all that, you know what I'm saying? Just always great. But a cool little vision came to me earlier with the magnetism. I was doing a meditation, like doing my inner smile meditations, like doing basically the Tao practices, you know what I'm saying? From the Montauk Chia book, The Awakening Light. Y'all see me share different little things from that book, especially if you follow me on Instagram. You'll see me post little things about that book in the stories or on posts. But long story short, I was doing a meditation with my liver, and I was visualizing, my liver from each side. So almost like on some third person type of thing, like seeing your liver from the front of you, then if you were underneath your liver, then if you was above it, if you were bigger than your liver, if you were smaller than your liver, all these different things, because those types of exercises be the types of things that really, be on point with our spiritual practice in essence, And shout out to, much love to the Tao book even saying that in essence too, with these visualization practices, is almost like practicing for transitioning in essence, It's like practicing, to be able to maneuver our energy body without the physical body as well, and as I say that, again, it also promotes presence. So it's not only teaching you about moving your energy body beyond the physical body, but it also stabilizes and teaches how to work with your energy body while you're here in it, in this present moment, being grounded. But what I was getting at is as I'm at one point though, as I'm doing a visual all around my liver, I just kind of got into a mode of all right, let me visualize myself as if I'm flying around my liver, So I'm, not necessarily in an airplane, like me flying like Superman, flying around my liver, and I noticed that, by going around at a certain point, I was keeping up with the visual. And then when I spun around almost too many times, it became hard to keep up with whether I was underneath my liver or above my liver. And that goes to the whole magnetism thing, because I think about the magnetism, they speak of in connection with certain birds and stuff, and knowing how to move, but also knowing that equilibrium, because you think about moving in water. If you swimming in water, if you get spun around in water, that's why I never been in a wave, but I know that's what they speaking of, the dangers of getting caught up in getting smashed by a wave, is getting hit so hard and being underneath the water and throwing your memory off in essence, you know what I'm saying, and again your magnetic system to where you don't know which way in the water to go, like you're almost like shit, which way is the up or down in this water, you know. Of course you would have the light to help, you know what I'm saying, but like it's like that magnetism, you know, helps for us to navigate, you know what I'm saying. And again, going around my liver, I'm like, all right, the better your magnetism or your navigational system, the more you could know, you know, what's up or what's down, you know what I'm saying. Because in essence, like, you know, swimming deep into the ocean is also like going up, you know what I'm saying. But again, it's like depending on, you know, the magnetism in the magnetic field. But I saw like how much our navigation within this lifetime and, you know, beyond, you know, has a lot to deal with, you know, the energy of magnetism. And I've been researching like how SSD memory cards work, how RAM work in computers, and how hard drives work in computers. I used to be a computer science major. You know, I used to do programming, Southern University, Baton Rouge, HBCU. Much love. But yeah, you know, but seeing like all those connections and even seeing why, you know, the spiritual connection with, you know, valuing that, you know, that subject matter. Yeah, I'm tapping in with my magnetite, my lodestone crystal. And then again, this one, which I did some little videos, but I'm gonna explain some of it right now. You know, this one it's a serpentine, and the serpentine has chalcopyrite in it, and it also has magnetite in it. Basically, it has lodestone, so it has this crystal, you know, in it, you know. And again, realizing like why, you know, kind of going off of crystals, but still the same thing. Because a lot of things, again, like dealing with karma energy and healing karma, and why a lot of people gravitate towards yoga and towards the systems in that particular area in the East. Again, like where you get like Tao and, you know, and Tai Chi practices, but, you know, you get, you know, the yoga practices. And, you know, and from my own inner workings and working with it, you know, seeing like where, you know, in the moments when we was building civilization, but, you know, in the area, you know, moving from the Hindus, Ethiopia, moving from the Ethiopia area, which that civilization technically stretched from Ethiopia to, you know, Cambodia or Angkor Wat, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this because I'm picturing a map in front of my face and seeing it. But, you know what I'm saying? Because you got, like, again, like the Indian people who have dreads, you know what I'm saying? They smoke the ganja, you know, but they not Ethiopia. You know, again, this is Indian, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? Asian Indians, you know what I'm saying? Tapping into these practices. You know, and so you see kind of how that, you know, connects across the board. But it's one of the most popular things because of how much it helps to heal karmic energies, you know. And from my own experience with pranayama breathing, you know, I'm seeing how much in my experience that it's just cutting karmic energies in half. Like, and be honest with you, and let me say that, like, literally, you know, there are no shortcuts with our spiritual growth and development, you know what I'm saying? There's no ways around it, you know what I'm saying? Because even looking at the yoga practice, you know, it's like you're still gonna have to do this practice. But if there was some type of practice that helps kind of cut time in half, in essence, you know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, like if you were doing time on a prison planet, you know what I'm saying? Like spiritual practice that would help kind of, you know, not only bring you peace and understanding, you know, during your visit, but also like, you know, making it easier to release yourself from the karmic cycles, you know, of being in this realm, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, yoga or just, you know, doing certain breathing techniques and meditation is so, you know, popular. And also when we was in that space or that civilization, because again, it's like different dimensions, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, a different being or chakra or energy was, you know, in rulership in another civilization, you know what I'm saying? Maybe more of a throat chakra energy in one area, you know, where they was focused on writing and speaking or using words and writing as weapons, you know what I'm saying? Because certain books are to some extent weapons, you know what I'm saying? Certain gods or words was created as weapons, you know what I'm saying? Or as things to be helpful, you know, not just weapons as well. But again, you know, seeing civilizations built on that. Because again, when you get to like the yoga and stuff like that, it's more so of a mediating civilization. Like, and you get to the story, the Bhagavad Gita with Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield, you know, again, it's like the battlefield of the inner world, you know, in essence, you know what I'm saying? And also a lot of us may be feeling this energy. I brought up the comic book saga on the Discord server, you know what I'm saying? But the comic book saga and why it's so popular, you know, because the comic book saga gets into this perspective. Much love to my brother Crockett for putting me on to that comic book. But, you know, saga deals with, you know, again, like this, these ancient beings from the moon that deal mostly with magic and got horns, and then this futuristic civilization where they deal with computers and they got wings, you know. So it's almost like the, you know, the winged futuristic beings, again, more like with the future, so that's automatically in essence air and fire, you know what I'm saying? Then you got the ones with horns, you know what I'm saying, kind of lower nature, pan like, you know what I'm saying, energy, you know what I'm saying, moon energy, you know, emotions, you know, dealing with, in essence, also reincarnating, dealing with, you know, and dealing with tradition, water energy, you know what I'm saying, you know, water energy and earth energy, you know, and what the energy in, you know, modern day India, you know what I'm saying, and why those practices, you know, developed in those areas, though, because that was the part where we was mediating. We was like, all right, look, right now in this moment, the best way for us to handle these energies is to, you know, be a mediator, you know what I'm saying, to, again, find some type of, you know, middle grounds, because that's what meditation does. You know, meditation is bringing you, you know, you in that middle space, you know what I'm saying, you're mediating, you're in the middle, you know what I'm saying. And that's why also, again, like, you're not identifying with the extremes, you know what I'm saying. You don't see the divas as quote unquote bad or good. You don't see the the asuras, don't quote me, but the, you know, the other beings that was considered to only be divine, you don't see them as just good or bad. You know, you see the balance, you know, in both, and see how they have the positive and negative qualities, you know, in both. And, you know, hence why, you know, again, a lot of people gravitate so much to it. Now, you have to be aware of, you know, certain, you know, blockages and shit that you're dealing with, because you can try to use spiritual practices to run from stuff that you're trying to deal with, you know, which it doesn't teach you to run from it, but just in general, you know, because some people may go to certain practices, you know, because they're trying to run from the part of them that gets angry, or the part of them that, you know, wants to fight or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So they like look for spiritual practices, you know, just for peace, but like trying to go on the extreme of peace, you know, without embracing, you know, our ability to, you know, protect ourselves, or, you know what I'm saying, our ability to get angry and, you know, have negative emotions and things of this nature, you know. But again, like, that's why that's one of the more popular, you know, forms of, you could say, of spiritual practices that most people go to, in essence, because it does, you know, cut at a lot of the karmic energy and a lot of the karmic debts, you know what I'm saying, developed from reincarnating in this space. My IG is Universal Frequencies 1. So Universal Frequencies and the number 1. But yeah, like the again, that civilization, you know what I'm saying, that those teachings, you know, coming in handy a lot right now, because it also teaches you how to embrace, you know, your quote unquote dark side, you know, and which in essence, again, it's like your quote unquote dark side is not being in duality in a delusional negative type of way. It's more so embracing things that you again judged as all bad, you know what I'm saying, and wasn't necessarily all bad. Like you might judge sex as all bad, so you see any beings who connect with sex energy as demonic, you know, even if, you know, they're not, you know what I'm saying. Because again, like the whole thing of what some may call demonic or not demonic has to deal with, you know, whether beings are promoting the awareness that you can leave this realm. Some beings bring that to others' awareness, some beings don't. You know what I'm saying? Some beings make it seem like the human experience is the only thing you have. Some beings let you know that it's, you know, that is both. Like again, some beings again are holistic in their presentation of it. Like, hey, yep, you're here on the human experience. Now it's to vibrate, be present. You know, you're here. You know, and also though, this is not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? Like the holistic story. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like the extreme of like, oh, it's all about pleasures and enjoying Earth and seeing what, you know what I'm saying? Like on the extreme, you know, to make it seem like this is like the only place to be. You know, in existence, you know what I'm saying, which is not true. And literally again, like what's happening is like this integration and harmonizing, you know, going down in real time, you know, again through us in this little, you know, physical form, you know what I'm saying. But and again, working with your chakras, you know what I'm saying, like clearing up pathways and doing that type of work is healing, you know. So even if you feel like, you know, some of your outer actions, you know, still may not be lining up to the best of your ability, just still stay on your spiritual practices that help, you know, take care of your mind, body, and soul in some way, form, or fashion, because it's, you know, it's helping release karmic cycles. Again, that's why I brought up, you know, stretching the psoas muscle, you know what I'm saying, PSOAS, and those videos I did, you know, showing how to exercise, you know. Again, check out the internal health playlist if you want to see certain spiritual practices that you can apply, you know what I'm saying, like yourself, you know, without me, you know what I'm saying, without paying, you know what I'm saying, free YouTube videos, bam. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, working out the psoas muscle, you know, like going into child's pose for yoga, you know what I'm saying? That'll stretch the psoas muscle. Riding a bike, anything that has your, you know, your legs having to go like up and down and stretching, or like, you know, like the knees to the chest, you know? Because again, like that's a world, like you got a whole world in that area of your body, and by moving a certain way, you allowing for certain energies to move through, you know what I'm saying? So you're healing karmic energies, you know, on a cellular level, you know what I'm saying? And that is something effective. So even if you may go back to a certain habit that may be toxic, you know, like you haven't fully cold turkey or quit something yet, still stay on the practices, because it's gonna, you know what I'm saying, it pays out in the long run, especially when you understand that it is a marathon and not a sprint, you know what I'm saying? But again, like a lot of these different practices, you know, help with that energy. And we're working with the crystals right now, like I was gonna say, working with the sulfur energy. I got the selenite with the sphintine and the chalcopyrite, and more so the chalcopyrite. I've been looking more into mineral formations and what that means for the energy, and sulfides, that's more basically as far as crystals concerned, that's the chalcopyrites, that's covellite, that's pyrite. But basically those crystals, working with those sulfur crystals, help to bring things to the light. They bring things from the deeper subconscious and shine a light on it, and also helps for you to work at accepting it. So not only bringing a shadow up, but helps you to, shine a light on it. But what I want to get to is sulfates. So this is like selenite, celestite, or angelcite. These are sulfates. And sulfates, they have like a certain insulating power. So their ability is to insulate, so kind of like make an energy last for, basically it creates a energy of making things last for a constant amount of time. Now, hence why you do want to be aware of the crystals you work with in that sense, because again, some crystals can amplify, negative emotions. You got to be aware of working with epidote and quartz, in that area, and also with like your obsidians in some cases, because again, like some things could be bringing you into, realization so strongly where you may end up looping into a state of shock. So you have to be aware again of how to maneuver and work with, your crystals, because again, it's not just just the crystal in it, of course you don't have to get all complicated, you don't have to get, or should I say complicated, you don't have to get all scientific about it if you don't want to, because you could feel the energies and know what's up just intuitively in essence, but just in general though, again, like it's not like how the pop culture takes it, and just like, because you got to be aware, like when you're working with certain metals, like you literally are working with a certain planetary energy, and being aware of, of working with that energy, and again, different crystals having different geometric shapes to it, so you're literally in that dimension, because again, dimensions are physical. What's the dimensions of a cube? It's this height, is this width, is this, literally that's the dimensions, within that space, and the cube is represented, connected with the Saturn energy, and hence why cubic crystals are crystals with that structure, help for structuring things, and being more disciplined, and being more responsible, because you're tuned into that Saturnian energy when working with that crystal that works with that geometric shape or those dimensions, so again, it's not like no, woo-woo again. And what I am doing right now, and just discussing it again, is just showing across the board of, how the science, spiritual, and all these different perspectives, and even mythological stories, bring it into full circle. But yeah, when you're dealing with the selenite, the selenite is insulating crystal, so if you want the energy to last a long time, and hence why selenite is a great crystal for putting in your home, or in certain spaces, and it's also a crystal that removes, toxic energies from crystals, without having to be, cleansed itself. So selenite technically doesn't need any cleansing. And, what I picked up on is from it being a sulfate and it creating an energy where the energy basically like amplifies how long something lasts. So if you want a certain energy to last, or you need, like, again, like there's a certain energy that you need to work with, there's a certain chakra that you just always having to keep working on, then it's like, all right, combine selenite, or a certain sulfate, but let's just say selenite with that crystal to, basically extend how long the the vibration lasts, you know what I'm saying, to extend the consistency of that vibration, you know what I'm saying. So you see literally also like with a pendant or with working with crystals is literally like a little mechanism or like an equation, you know what I'm saying, which is also like we're working with astrology as well. It's tying all these things together. But again, the magnetism, the chalcopyrite, so I want the selenite to amplify and strengthen, you know what I'm saying, how long lasting the magnetism from the magnetite or lodestone is in the crystal. You know what I'm saying? I also got, the Libyan desert glass. You know what I'm saying? So matter of fact, any type of crystals y'all rocking with right now, what y'all feel guided to work with. And of course I'm still on my, hope y'all excuse me. Yeah. And then I got my little Labradorite, keeping the energy field right. Golden sheen, black obsidian. Got rose quartz. Also right now, with this one energy and, like also, again, like learning a lot of lessons with boundaries, learning how to stand up for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Learning that this realm ain't just peaches and cream, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us still haven't hit that little, that little ceiling. Not say ceiling like it's something, but like, reaching that little area, you know what I'm saying? You got to be aware, this realm has things that are dangerous. But again, it's like you stay in tune, taking care of yourself, keeping your vibration, you know what I'm saying, on point. Because again, like the emotion is the magnet, the thoughts is the electricity, you know what I'm saying, going out, you know what I'm saying. So ain't too many. Acre green and petalite I've been using. All right. That's a great little combination. Shit. Wes trying to make sure. Cause that's some two, you know what I'm saying? That's two crystals that would be very strong against, very parasitic energies, you know what I'm saying? Because the petalite works great at like, just bringing light, you know what I'm saying, into any situation. I feel like if you're dealing with, any type of like hostile energies, petalite would be a great crystal for that. And agerine or agarine, I don't know what's the proper way to pronounce it. And then nebula stone, because the nebula stone I had around my on my glasses. The lithium and petalite will be great right now. Because the light also has like that soothing vibe. Like although it's high vibrational, it's a lot more soothing than other high vibrational crystals because of that presence of lithium. And again, full circle, that's another thing we're working with the crystals. You're going to see like, the full circle story, like working with certain crystals help certain body parts. Certain body parts are connected to certain astrological energies. You know what I'm saying? Like my head is my Aries energy. My Taurus is my, so if I'm healing my shoulder, I'm healing my Taurus energy. If I'm healing my arms, I'm healing my Gemini energy. So even if I'm not doing other things that might heal my Gemini energy, if I heal my arms or keep my arms healthy, I'm keeping that energy healthy. If I keep my intestines healthy, I'm keeping my Virgo energy healthy. You know what I'm saying? The reincarnation process, again, is a part of like, how you treated, your organs, you know what I'm saying? And again, like that's why the inner smile and the tile practices, it seems corny, but that shit works. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with somebody else talking about on some shit to, and to each his own, you know what I'm saying? But, again, like, because again, it's not for me to try to convince like, hey, y'all, you should really, like I just share the facts, and if you vibe with it, you vibe with it, ultimately, again, and that's something, I had to get into a space, with this spring equinox, it's like getting clear at the message, like, all right, like, why do you still do your YouTube channel? Like, what is it that you do? And again, it's like for one, I realized like just me being me, I hit certain little niches and aspects of metaphysics that most people don't speak to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just, sharing, but for the most part, it's like just wanting to continuously show people that you can do it too, like by showing people how much I haven't read all of these books, but yet I'll channel certain information without reading these books. And it's by example, you know what I'm saying? So more so like I'm more so of an inspirational, beacon, you know what I'm saying? That's here to say, hey, you could do it too. Like, and that's a part of the Aries energy, you know what I'm saying? And a part of my Aries North Node mission is like, hey, man, you could still help the collective through moving through the one energy. Because again, and that's what the whole Chiron and Aries thing is, you know what I'm saying? Like you could, And right now realizing again, like to not let no system or nobody, dictate, what's best for you right now. There we go. Let's see what else. Nebula. I remember when that came to the market in the 90s. When what came to the market in the 90s, Wes? Blue lace agate and red jasper. Oh yeah, that's all Aries energy, you know what I'm saying? Blue lace agate is helping with that fiery expression, you know what I'm saying? Making sure we don't express things in a manner, you know what I'm saying, where we too emotional and we mess up a great friendship off of some type of spontaneous response. Spontaneous emotional response. Yeah, healing the karma, a lot of us starting to see, like what's going on in our life right now and how that connects with, our past incarnations in this realm, you know, what we're doing here now, you know, where we're going. That also goes into, again, like understanding the soul purpose and the difference between, you know, again, like soul purpose and like doing certain little passions and stuff like this. You know, ultimately your soul is here to learn and get out of here. You know, when you go to school, you know, except for when you was in college to some extent, you know what I'm saying? That's the only time you probably stayed at school technically. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You go to school and you go back home. But again, like, as I was bringing up Saga earlier, you know, like some of us realizing that we like have like again, like these warring factions inside of us, you know. It's almost, again, if you watch Saga, you know, basically one of the Moonies, what they call them, but one of the moon beings and one of the beings from the other star system that was beefing throughout the galaxy for all these years, they had a baby together, you know, and this was forbidden. So forbidden that the news was trying to hide. Like, bro, Saga is a dope little comic book. It's a nice little spin on the little story that's going on in this earthly plane. It's pretty, you know. But again, also being aware, though, to not get caught up in the, you know, too much of the war aspects of it. Like, you know, like, because in this lifetime, you know, a lot of us are here to harmonize internal energies and not create an internal war. You know, we're healing the internal war, not provoking it. You know what I'm saying? Some beings are like trying to provoke you know, disharmony in a toxic kind of way or anarchy type of way. And that go back to, you know, matter of fact, with the whole anarchy, as I say that, you know, you think of that whole energy at one time. I forgot what year it was, where it was like the year of like everybody, like, it's funny now, like, damn, like looking back, but I think of like it was a certain year where like it seemed like it was a riot about something every other day, or like, you know, or some type of riot, like something with somebody rioting. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you know. But you see, I went too far beside beyond the point of what I was gonna say with the whole rioting thing. Oh. And it was having people like try to come in and you know, provoke like an anarchist type of environment at the riot. So they would have people who really wasn't for the cause, probably neither would either, you know, with no probably with loyalties to neither side, and if any, probably more so with the governmental side, but like, you know, trying to provoke some shit to kind of start a fight in essence. You know what I'm saying? But you know, in so many words, again, like that energy trying to like spark some old toxic fighting ass shit. All right, Nebula Stone around the 90s. You from Georgia? Say Georgia, Georgia. I whirlwind through cities. Just rolling up, man. Taking my little moment. Have my little moments twisting up the cannabis again. Yee, yee. There's transmuting relationships, you know, because I realize, like, with any substance or anything, it's about our relationship with it. It's not a abusive thing. It's how we deal with it that makes it abusive or not. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't to make excuse for toxic shit. Like, cause again, I know like when I need to stop smoking or when, you know what I'm saying? Like, and definitely making sure though that you're able to fast from whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, like take a fast from eating to kind of see yourself kind of how you vibe and move when you're not dependent on food, in essence, when you're not dependent on smoke, when you're not dependent on this thing, you know what I'm saying? Just having those moments, because again, detachment from this realm doesn't mean like the only way you could be detached from this realm is if you're in the mountains with nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like you could still, like that's the name of the game, is like to detach and still, be in the world but not of it, you know what I'm saying? Being able to engage in this world without, you know what I'm saying, getting caught up in the external distractions of it, I haven't been crystal mining yet, which I've been checking out. Like I like checking out the little videos and peeping out the whole mining process. I was watching some opals being mined because I wanted to see how the opals look, like where they find them and how they look coming out of the ground. Because some crystals, and that's the dope thing too, it's like you wouldn't know certain crystals is what it is unless you got into it. Like if I showed you a piece of black obsidian like from the ground, like you would know that's black obsidian, because you think with some crystals that you're just about to see something like this shiny and sparkly, just like, oh, it's obviously right there. And it's like, no, like some of them, you gotta, and that's what makes it, the personification of it, of like you can't judge it by its cover, like that work within itself, you know what I'm saying, helps you to stay on your toes with not judging a book by its cover, just by, being in that practice, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you would constantly have to know, like, all right, even though this look like a big old, just regular old rock, I bet you if we cut, go in the inside of it, you know what I'm saying, that it ain't, you'll be able to see the beauty within, and not to say that you got to cut everything open to see the beauty inside, because that's what popped up in my mind as I said that. But opal in Mexico. Matter of fact, I'm gonna actually have some some purple Mexican opal. I have at least probably like 3 pendants coming up soon. So anybody, you know what I'm saying, who interested in that, yeah, desert rose is a real great crystal at just kind of like I feel like a serene energy come through, and then just like a little spark of like clarity and a little spark of like creativity kind of come through with it. And that's what I was gonna say too earlier with the cannabis or anything, because sometimes it's kind of like with mushrooms. Like the mushrooms aren't bad because you had a bad trip. Now, this not necessarily the case when it comes to acid, because acid can be formed by others, and that's what makes it a situation where you have to make sure you're connected with a very trustworthy source when it comes to acid, compared to like, I mean, with all, but especially with that. But with mushrooms, it's like just because the trip was intense or it showed you like certain aspects of yourself doesn't mean that something was wrong with the mushrooms. It means that it's work that needs to be done inside. So if you smoking the cannabis and you have a certain experience, it's not necessarily the cannabis as much as it's the inner work that needs to be done as well. But again, in certain moments, depending on what you're dealing with, you don't need an intense feeling. Like you don't need to go into the underworld intensely in certain moments, or you don't need to go into the higher realms intensely in certain moments when you learn in the ground. You know what I'm saying? Either way, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever, it ain't just no one way. It's like, knowing what works best for you in your own moments and through your cycles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, working through our karmas and the yoga energy. Again, the yoga energy being so, valuable because it helps mediate and balance those energies. And some of us, again, like are in alignment with that energy, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a part of, our ancestral lineage, on a multi-dimensional and on a, bloodline level. Got 20 minutes worth of battery left. Even though I'm not talking about the Bible right now, I think the Bible is a very interesting book. It's just like with any book, from a certain space, what I'm saying, it has certain gematria importance, so like the numbers, like the verses behind the numbers. I did a video a while back about solfeggio tones. You know what I'm saying? We talk about binaural beats, speaking of, magnetism and brain waves, sounds. And with the sounds, the solfeggio tones, like it was certain verses from a certain part of the Bible actually show, the numbers of the solfeggio tones, in which the solfeggio tones are in alignment with 3, 6, and 9, where, whether it's like, say for instance, 528 hertz, 528 hertz equals 6, because you add the 5 plus the 2 plus the 8, that's 6, so you see how, even though it's say 528, in essence it's the 6 energy. And another one, I think, I can't recall all of them by heart, but they all resonate with the 3, 6, and 9 energies. That's funny you bring up Jay-Z, because he connected to the Rockefeller energy. You know what I'm saying? If you when you again look at Robert Morningsky, he break down the Terror Papers, Robert Morningsky and the Terror Papers, and talking about the Anunnaki, and the whole, like, also kind of showing like where the fear of women come from, in essence, with certain beings, but showing how, again, like the pharaohs and stuff like that end up turning into, like, the Rockefeller family, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily, not the record label, but, like the Rockefeller family and all that, trying to, mimic or kind of bring themselves bloodline. That's what those books, kind of the Dragon Legacy books that I was pointing out, that was also kind of showing how, certain beings were trying to infiltrate bloodlines, basically trying to become a part of the underworld bloodline, in so many words, because, again, fairies, all this is a part of the underworld, because also, again, nature. I did a video a while back, showing, like, one of my first As Above, So Below videos, because this was in Baton Rouge, and I showed a diagram of the body, and I talked about, like, the story of the Garden of Eden and how Adam and Eve chose to go into another garden, and it was a garden, closer to this part of nature. They had a tree, because, again, our nervous system of pleasure, what I'm saying, like our nerves, it's like little branches, it's like trees, the nervous system is like little trees, and you got like a set of nerves and trees that kind of go into your genital area very strongly, and some that come into your head area very strongly, and you could go into the ones closer to your nature, and I joked about, like, no coincidence that, like, old schools in the hood, when they talk about, like, a man trying to stay up, with the erection, it's like, man, making sure my nature's straight, trying to stay straight with my nature. You know what I'm saying? And that whole connection, to nature, and why, again, Pan, what I'm saying, the goat being connected to nature, what I'm saying, no good or bad, right or wrong, it's just, seeing, what it is. Nah, the Bible is more so to a book of spells and a book of magic more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Again, it was created, also, like, what makes it cool is it's a multi-purpose, book. Some people take it at face value. Some people, could see, because also it has the astrological meaning, and it gets into the karmic aspect in the book of Enoch, when it's talking about, basically it's talking about chakras or spinning wheels, and certain angels having to stay in certain worlds or certain chakras, what I'm saying, for a certain amount of time, because literally that's what, again, like our inner work, and hence to not be fooled about, like, thinking that the work is so much about just doing good deeds and stuff like that, what I'm saying, like, it's like, nah, it's about, understanding and, connecting with your inner world and seeing why you're here right now, what I'm saying. But for me, and that's why I started that with this, the notion of connecting, like, with the, the Hindu not say Hindu, but just more so like the yoga practices and things of this nature, and even the literature, because I feel like that's the most non-biased literature as well. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of gets closer to the symbology of things, you know. But I mean, within any of these books, you always feel like there's gonna be religious followers no matter what. I feel like there's a breed of people that's always looking to turn something into a religion. You know what I'm saying? Because even the stuff that I do, like, there's possibly a breed of people that want to turn everything that I say into a religion. You know, hence why I always felt to make sure, like, hey, I'm not your guru who is saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because again, as I say that about the Hindu text, that doesn't mean that there aren't people who don't look at it religiously and take it as face value, just how some people do the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But for me, you know, I guess because my spiritual change and transformation came from working with meditation, you know what I'm saying, more than reading the Bible. For my experience, and again, to each his own, because that's another thing in which that's going to, you know, get exposed, or just in general, it's like, it's not my job to try to force any type of book or anything on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to each his own. You know, if you feel the Bible is your way, you know, and you resonate with the aspect of God that's called Jah, you know what I'm saying? You know, because even the Bible was even that. Like, the Bible was only speaking to one aspect of God, you know what I'm saying? Like, a part of the Bible had a lot to do with fear of women, so it can't have the whole story in it, you know, to that extent, you know, either, you know. So, you know, it valued the cross more than anything, and the cross is two lines. Nothing against anybody's sexuality, you know, but that's, you know, it's like a masculine line and a masculine line, you know what I'm saying? It's like where the curve's at. You know, waves don't move in straight lines. And everything is energy and moves in waves. You know, like the Om vibration. Om. Like that, literally, like the somatics of that, you know, it works, you know, on my body. And again, like, I see where they have certain truths, you know, that was passed down into, like, because say for instance, rosary beads come from, you know, the Hindu mala beads, you know what I'm saying? Like, you count your mantras, you count your prayers, and, you know, it's similar things. So again, you know, and again, like, you know, it's about what you vibe to. Because, you know, a lot of us, and, you know, also being in, you know, in quote unquote America, realizing how much, you know, indigenous energy exists in America on an ancient level. And what's funny is even acknowledged on so many levels. You know, I did that video a while back. It's either, can't remember where it's at, but I did the video on the mounds by LSU, on LSU campus, right by Tiger Stadium. And there's these two little mounds, you know what I'm saying, right by each other. And they have like a little saying that talk about how those mounds predate even the pyramids in Egypt, you know. And I'm like, damn, that's profound for them to admit this in the South, at a school in the South that, you know, definitely was, you know, created without, you know, indigenous people in mind, except for like using the magic of the ley lines, you know what I'm saying? or whatever. But it's like for that to be expressed, I'm like, all right, damn, that's very contradictory, but cool, But yeah, the Bible has its little truths in it too, And speaking of crystals, what I'm saying, in the Bible, you got Aaron's breastplate, the different astrological energies. And again, like different crystals working with different parts of the body, what I'm saying? Different part of the bodies line up astrological. Because again, karmic energies on body parts, what I'm saying? Like, literally, if a person in their family always had foot problems, they probably also had problems expressing their Pisces energy, or dealing with their Pisces energy or their 12th house energy, what I'm saying? And we say in 12th house Pisces, to give this archetype a name, in that sense of it, but, it's a, expression of that archetypical energy, dealing with knees, what I'm saying, knee problems or knee health, you got great knees, what I'm saying, you're doing well with your ancestors, with your money, with your foundational energy, what I'm saying, you're staying flexible, what I'm saying, you're not too rigid in the Saturn energy, because that's the toxic aspect, is where you're just so structured, you're rigid and you get stiff, it's like, shake them chakras, but let me check my all right, my power, but yeah, the yeah, for me, it just always goes to like how I tell people with my earliest examples, it's like go to the more ancient story. Like, all right, who said the story before that? Who said the story before that? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause the Bible, cause that was my thing too. I'm like, here it is, where the Bible 2,000 years old, and the people talking about it, only talking around to that extent. But the and check this out. This is where it's dope. The Bible, how they try to do it historically, only goes to a certain amount. Like, ancient civilization, they got bricks on the pyramids that's like 10,000 years older than, most things in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the Bible is also metaphysical. So it is talking about things that go beyond, the human experience as well. You know what I'm saying? Especially because it's also speaking to astrology, which, you got certain ages that goes, again, like over 25,000 years, and again, like with the book of Enoch, and certain worlds opening up or closing, and certain angels, being having to stay in, being trapped, or being able to get out certain worlds or certain chakra wheels, what I'm saying, in certain moments, because that's what right now what these moments represent too. It's like it's a moment for us to pull ourselves from being stuck in certain chakra wheels, and it's not to be seen as like, hey, rigidly look at life as if I'm just here to like work on myself, like, from a, rigid, like, nah, again, you go have fun, like you're doing what you love, like, and that's a part of like why we kind of constantly make sure our now moment is like, creating like a balance of, like a disciplined flow, You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, it's like where discipline and flow comes together. And speaking of that, that energy of what it is, Saturn and Pisces, discipline and flow, or discipline, like the water and the discipline, you know. That way, the now moment, you don't have to, think as much, is because you've been creating a habit of, like, building a flow, but not just not a floaty flow though, but like a flow where you're grounded and you're aware of what's going on, but it's flowing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of rigid. And again, as I say that, flowing, that doesn't mean like you don't have tough moments and stuff like that. But again, like, it's about response. Like, how do I respond? Because you could respond with flow, because martial arts, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a punch coming at you, but you flow. You know what I'm saying? And even this, matter of fact, that's something right there too. If feel kind of funny about your solar plexus, or just that area in your chi, just simply doing your hand movements. It's probably why a lot of us who talk in front of a lot of people eventually like end up. Well, but I mean, it's just always been a thing. I know, just like, man, just using my hands, like, you talking and blocking and not even knowing. But oh man, give me 1 second. That OJ, the vitamin C. And yeah, I'll be like, it's funny because I do notice I know a hawk. I know when I hear cardinals, mockingbirds. Some of them I'm still having to learn, because I know mockingbirds and blue jays kind of could mimic other birds, but I could tell when a blue jay is like mimicking a hawk, or when I'm hearing a real hawk. I know what the squirrels, I studied like what squirrels saying, because that's the thing too, it's a balance. Knowing, how to work Microsoft Excel, and then knowing, which I don't, but I'm just giving an example, you know what I'm saying? Like, knowing how to work Microsoft Excel, and grounding your feet, you know what I'm saying, in the ground, and, knowing what nature is telling you without words. Like Avatar, the last airbender, got the Fire Kingdom over here, and the Fire Kingdom not trying to be bad, they just fire, you know what I'm saying? Fire is fire, you know what I'm saying? Water is water. It's not trying to be bad, it's not trying to manipulate your emotions per se, you know what I'm saying? It's just, water energies, that happens to be a negative aspect to it, or, again, air energies, it's not trying to cast no spells, and it's not. It's just a negative part to it. But again, like, with the air, fire, water, earth element, it's not trying to be too traditional and rigid, you know what I'm saying, to the point where it's, sabotaging growth. It's just a part of its nature is to kind of focus on being sturdy and kind of sticking close to these same traditions, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily, but it's personified and mixed with human ego. It's a different situation seeing it play out. Good for jaw problems. Wait, let me see where I'm at. Oh, wait. Crystal good for jaw problems. I don't know, the red jaspers is what's coming up, but it's something else. Cause the jaw deals with anger. So a crystal, matter of fact, cause what Mr. West brought up earlier about working with blue lace agate is real good for helping with dealing with anger, anger issues or anger energies. You know what I'm saying? Aisha, shake them chakras, right? Yeah, I done got pretty warm the last few days, but it's been like crazy cold to say it's Louisiana. Yeah, much love. And I'm just reading, but yeah, picking up on you said the animal sounds. It will bring me back to the magnesium based crystals. You know what I'm saying, Mr. West? When it comes to crystals, that's good for massive stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. And then also, again, making sure that we, get into the root cause and making whatever decisions we got to make. Because I realized a lot of stuff I was dealing with, I would get crystals to help with certain symptoms, but it would reoccur because of me working with something deeper, you know what I'm saying, and me having to make a decision on another level, so, again, on the remedy level, I'm working with serpentine right now on the magnesium vibes. You got Numite, strong with the magnesium, Petersite, strong with the magnesium, and then again, just working with the lodestone or the magnet crystals. You might look around and have a piece of chalcopyrite that might have magnetite in it. You might have a piece of covalite that has magnetite in it. Cause I had both. I got this piece that's magnetic. The serpentine with chalcopyrite with magnetite. And a lot of times in the market they'll speak of serpentine that might have magnetite in it, and they call it imperial serpentine, but that again, that's good for the ley lines of the body, like, because literally you're healing karmic energies on a cellular level, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, again, because that goes back to, you know, with acupuncture work, that's literally like ley line work, you know what I'm saying? But on the body, you know what I'm saying? And you healing certain karmic energies, you know what I'm saying, by opening up certain pathways, you know. But yeah, for again, the stress. Also, any lithium based crystals. You said you're working with petalite, so you're on point right there. Lepidolite, mica, or tourmaline with mica. That'd be pretty good as well. And also, making sure the crystals are like probably like yellowish green, you know, or yellow to kind of work with the stomach, you know what I'm saying? Because anxiety, in essence, you know, that has a connection with the stomach. Hence why, you know, nausea could be a part of like being nervous, you know, where you're so nervous, you kind of get nauseous. I feel like you know, the high vibration, though, you know, it's a unique space of embracing, you know, it's like you have to embrace your like anger and all these emotions. You just handle it in a manner where you don't, you know, it is less harmful to yourself and others, you know what I'm saying? And again, like, where you're not keeping it blocked up, you're allowing for it to move, and it moves in a manner where you and nobody else get harmed, or in a manner where you actually should, again, on some alchemy, you know, you inspire somebody, you know what I'm saying, through expressing that anger in whatever, you know what I'm saying, healthy manner. But, you know, vibrating high, you know, because I think from the church perspective, you know, unknowingly, if you don't kind of peep game at your subconscious, you know, again, like that, looking for, you know, the energy of being nice all the time. And I say like being nice, what I'm trying to get at is like, you know, like as if vibrating high has to be like, have to deal with being a moralistically good person or something like that, in essence, you know. And it's more so about, you know, like, again, like how you embrace and deal with the highs and the lows, in essence, you know, like, and what comes to you, you know, because it's gonna be pain, you know what I'm saying, there's gonna be certain things. What I can say, it does happen less with certain practices, hence why, again, like, why I like, you know. But I come from a space where, you know, you gotta understand everybody walks is different, you know, like, you come from a space where you like 30 years, 40 years, 50 years in your hood, where all you know and seen is like your lower nature, then in essence, you know, you kind of want to, you gonna have a knack to want to see like what's the, you know, what exists beyond these chakras, you know what I mean? You know, but at the same time realizing, though, those chakras, just like, again, it's the simple aspect of just looking at a tree. The tree tell the whole story. especially this round. You know, how duality and oneness, what come first, the chicken or the egg, the seed or the tree, you know, like, but, you know, it's like, you know, the roots, like, the roots have to be grounded in, you know, those beginnings, that darkness, you know what I'm saying? Those traumas, you know, those experiences. And you vibrate high because you become like undefeatable because you don't because you're not in the extreme of good or bad, you know. When there's no when you're not in the extremely good and looking at other stuff is bad or extremely bad and looking at other stuff is too good, you know, like when you kind of know how to just, you know, take that labeling off, you know, it kind of puts you in a space of being undefeatable and high vibrational from that perspective. Not necessarily like, you know, but we are in a space right now again though where if if the if the neighborhood been getting a lot of trash dumped in it, you know what I'm saying? If the neighborhood already knows how to be toxic, you know what I'm saying? Like it has no problem with that, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, the pendulum, in order to help, you know, balance that out, it needs to swing into being a little more positive, you know what I'm saying? You know, somebody in a dark space needs to feel like the sun could shine, you know, like, you know. But again, it's like not letting that get to extreme, you know, in a sense of extreme positivity or toxic positivity, so to speak. But, you know, but again, it's like what we dealing with. We dealing with an environment that been very toxic, very, you know what I'm saying? So, and hence why, you know, some is very sensitive to energies, you know, so you can't just really, really ignore it. I'm not familiar with the African ancient calendar. I remember a while back earlier, uh, seeing this white brethren from South Africa, Michael Tellinger, bring up like these South African these little areas in South Africa that seem to be created by sound waves, but then they also had one area called Adam's calendar. I think it was placed on the 33rd or 31st longitudinal yeah, I want to say longitudinal wave, but I mean longitudinal line. But long story short, with Adam's calendar and like mapping things out again, like with a sundial in essence, and knowing the seasons from, you know, that perspective, and more so, this book called, as you bring that up, this book called Rebirth of Pan was breaking down, you know, it was getting into the Orion versus Sirius beings war or something like that, and it was also showing how different civilizations, like some civilizations focused on Sirius, some focused on Orion, you know, with their monuments. Again, like how you got like the pyramids in Egypt, you know, Kemet, you know, it's in alignment with the three stars in Orion's belt, you know, and it gets into like the different mounds. Matter of fact, in the different places in America, Louisiana, and other places, you know, where they got these different mounds, and you know, and again, seeing the different connections with with the ley lines and the constellations and lining up certain monuments to know when Sirius, comes over the horizon, or when Orion is coming over the horizon, or what I'm saying, even though they're not too far from each other, of course, but yeah, and this is again symbology of the archetypes, extension of Saturn, you know what I'm saying, to the quote unquote devil energy, but more so again like from the perspective of just being in the physical material, not from the perspective of promoting getting lost in the delusion, but again just the raw archetypical symbology of it. That's why I look like Pan on the tarot card. I think it's an area called Poverty Point in Louisiana, in like the northern area. But like they got mounds, all over the place. And again, I talked about earlier the 2 mounds that's on LSU campus, said to be older than the pyramids. And be real with you, Baton Rouge in general, it's just like that was just like a bunch of mound builders. The small town of Washington in Opelousas, near Opelousas, that's like a mound building, Now the purple plates do work. Like in my first ones, I saw a big difference. I guess more so because I was new to it. Cause when I got my second one, I did feel a difference, but I guess that's why I didn't feel like so like, oh, like it's because I was used to working with it in essence. Yep, the galaxy lacks milk, or lactation, you know what I'm saying? And the whole thing with the cows, know. And you see like the Bible does a alright job at bringing forth like little animals in, you know what I'm saying, to personify, things. When I think about, though, again, like just all the different stories and other mythologies, again, especially in the Hindu, you know what I'm saying, and all the different little books and again, like just the different perspectives, like again, that civilization existed, and that the Bhagavad Gita, the whole little war, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it was like a little clash. Find that middle space. The purple plates, I don't have, and what's funny is I do have the information still, but I don't have it on me. But it's used with like Tesla car technology, and basically like it creates a energy. It helps your energy feel. When I felt working with it, it almost felt like working with shungite. It felt like working with shungite. It did have like more of a like helping the high chakras feeling than shungite. I mean, with shungite, because it helps. Shungite actually helps the whole chakra feel, but like I could feel like the purple plate. I guess you would say for me it would be like more so of creating like more of like clarity with my extrasensory perception, so to speak. But there's a certain you have to look at the video. I'm pretty sure I got the information in the video, which I think is just www.purpleplates.com. But yeah, and they have the little purple plates, and you could wear the little plates as a pendant, or you could get like big plates, like to put your fruits and stuff on, to, you know, like to cleanse, you know, because it also again like helps on the electromagnetic level. Again, when I think of the purple plates, I think of shungite, and I also think of rude rakshas, because rude rakshas is very like, when I'm wearing rude rakshas, I just feel like it's just like wearing something that is a constant filtration system to my aura, in essence, you know, and kind of just helps to like stabilize, you know, stabilize ground energies. Hunter, yeah, I'm kind of, you know, again, like, is like I tell everybody, man, just eat as healthy as possible for you, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we do want to be aware of, like, you know, with, you know, the consumption of meat, you know, wanting to eat the healthiest meat that you can eat, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was raised by you or you doing the whole process, you know what I'm saying? You know, that way you know, being a part of the whole, you know what I'm saying, the whole situation. And then, what I was gonna say, yeah, as far as like, it's like eating to, it's connected to things like with elemental temperaments as well. But you know what I'm saying, it's like, you know, again, like if you're a being that requires like more energy because you're a more active person, you know what I'm saying, then you should eat things that support, you know, you being more active without being drained, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, and you not lying to yourself and doing whatever it is, because, you know, for myself, it's like, you know, from the breathing and, you know, the intermittent fasting, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see how that helps, like, you know, and how that gives me a lot more energy. Like, I don't eat a nice sized meal unless it's like, you know, I know I'm kind of gonna be more in a chill mode, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and, you know, not being like a just more in chill mode. Like I'm resting. Like like all right, I could eat something. Because again, like some beings don't like for their mental plane to be off too much. So some beings don't put pleasure over clarity of mind. Which means eating less. That so like that's where the breatharians come from. You know what I'm saying? Like the airbenders, the breatharians. That's connected to the fire energy, but beings who want to eat less, what I'm saying? That's beings who want more, clarity, what I'm saying, of what's going on inside the inside their inner world, compared to, other beings that may thrive off of having those emotional cues and those sensual feel good moments a lot more, what I'm saying, like again, but you got to know yourself, what I'm saying, and again, and some of us, we feel that vibe of like balancing all those energies, balancing them all out. I don't work with argonite. Just working with the crystals and the copper, it'd be good enough. And doing my little crystal grids, you know, crystal grids with visualizations. And also the inner work. AKA, what I'm saying, doing that internally making sure internalizing. 'Cause of course they got some external antagonists. Say no beef, no pork. Oh, and let me see what. All right, I got 7%. I'm assuming be out too. Also, I don't know if it's called dielectric or diamagnetism, but like check out bismuth videos with bismuth and showing like how bismuth could make like a magnet float, because I first thing that hit my mind was like like dang, just like with no extra nothing, like literally if you take some pieces of bismuth, and you just have to go buy like those little cube magnets, and of course, be careful, with any type of experiments and stuff like that. I'm not telling you to, but it's something that's, simple. But you do have to be careful with handling magnets, of course. But, with the bismuth and the magnets, where basically like the magnet starts floating in between the bismuth, and it's like, damn, like, like flotation devices, if you place some bismuth in something at the bottom, and then something, what I'm saying, you create like a little magnetism travel way or something like that, with those two elements in essence. I thought that was pretty fire. But yeah, again, the magnetic field and the navigation. The memories, because that also affects our navigation. It's like a blockage is almost like, oh, I don't want to go that way. There's a blockage, like, or I'm not able to go that way, and literally what acupuncture do, and again, acupuncture, known for working with lodestones as well. You know what I'm saying? Again, the magnetic energy, put that lodestone right there. You know what I'm saying? Work on that blockage. Now you can navigate, you know what I'm saying, through your pathway fully, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what, again, like what our little blockages represent is having to, also not a energetic blockage internally and then having to move past something externally as well. Divine Nine, feminine. That was also on that Michael Tellinger video. He was showing how they would made like it was a little sphere that had it like in a basically like in a what you call that, but basically like a little uh, plastic glass, box or whatever, and they played a sound from one direction and they played a sound from another direction, and literally the two sounds from the different directions made the sphere, what I'm saying, float, what I'm saying, in the middle, so kind of showing how frequency and sound waves could also, like, in essence, put something in orbit or move something, or like what you saying, like levitate, because it was more so like levitation, because it was kind of keeping a steady, like little orbit in the middle of the box, due to the frequencies. Because speaking of the Bhagavad Gita, I also think about, again, like that's also some, an area that's very strong on chants and mantras, blowing the conch shell, and the conch shell be in a lot of, symbolically and so much, you know what I'm saying? But that little, and also that little noise, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought of the movie, The Water Worlds, I think, you know what I'm saying? Who it was. Tom Cruise was in the movie, the latest movie or whatever, but it had like the little conch shell, like, and I think of like the Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna and Arjuna on the little battlefield with the conch shell, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but again, like the focus with, again, like those sound waves, and again, like, bringing the harmony between the lower worlds or chakras and the higher worlds and chakras, all the nadis and meridians in the body. And speaking of memory, with working with magnetic crystals for your own memory, what I'm saying, again, like working with crystals in essence for, like, for memory purposes as well, like I think of like working with labradorite and how it helps with synchronicities, and you could program, in the moment of having a synchronicity, working with a labradorite, actually like program it, what I'm saying, in essence, to, like amplify, what I'm saying, almost like record that synchronicity, what I'm saying, like, hey, remember this moment, labradorite, remember this synchronicity, what I'm saying, and amplify the energy to remind myself of those spiritual receipts or synchronicities, but just thinking of, like, again, because I thought of that, I've been wanting to share something about like working with labradorite in that manner, like storing synchronistic energy within the labradorite and amplifying that energy in the space. But uh let's see. Right. The Ella Fitzgerald breaking the glass. Yep. Thank you, Conscious Flow Official. Thank you. For because I did see somebody ask. Yeah, that's it. Matter of fact, before this little video go out, I think I have worked with the upside. I think the upside is the one that has more. It reminds me of working like with a fairy cross in essence. Like it had like not like a overbearing grounding energy like how a hematite might have, but more so like that, how you say that iron fist with the velvet glove type of energy, where you could, feel grounded, but it had like a kind of soft and kind of serene, like, like harmony. It's not that grounded like her, you know what I'm saying, like that. It's super strong, but yeah, I gotta go charge up. Nah, not Chastille Light, Starlight. As far as when I was talking about fairy crosses, I was talking about Starlight, and the upside being kind of like yeah. Just popping in, again, tapping in with your healthy practices. Keeping that mind healthy. Again, remembering the mental and emotional health. And the fact that you get to choose your emotions. You get to choose how you feel. It doesn't mean deny certain emotions when they come up, but they don't have to last a whole day, or you know what I'm saying, or 30 days, you know what I'm saying? Like it don't have to last, long as necessary. Longer than needed for the understanding of, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it's a compass for us to develop some understanding about what we going through. Correct. Yep, yep. Peace, peace. Y'all know what it is. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now. But y'all stay taking care. Appreciate y'all. Again, I have some new pieces soon. Got one piece of yellow fluorite left. Moroccan yellow fluorite. But yeah, I have some labradorite and some other pieces coming soon. Epic Lifestyles on Instagram. EPIKLIFESTYLEZ. Again, at Epic Lifestyles on Instagram. Send me a message if you're interested in getting you a pendant. Any and all donations greatly appreciated. Donation links is underneath mostly all of my videos. And yeah. Peace, y'all.